Yay. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, it's Carly.
Hi, it's Nay.
And this is Hotties with a Poddy, a podcast where two close friends in their 20s casually talk about what's important to them and not in a broadcasty newsy kind of way.
Not in a broadcasty newsy way. Emphasis. No,
Yes.
I'm just kidding. Yes. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How was your weekend? What'd you do?
Good.
Even though I kind of know what you did, but for our listeners.
For our listeners. Well, I mean, I don't even truly know what I did this weekend. I always forget kind of as time goes on.
Ramen.
Oh, yeah. I got ramen with my cousin. I got sushi with my cousin, who I haven't seen in 2 years. We're both Leos and our birthdays are around this time. And he came into town to celebrate his birthday. And so we went to this like cute little Japanese place in La Jolla, and we talked for a while, and then we walked around and looked at the ocean and had like deep talks.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was so nice. It was so nice. And then yesterday, all I remember is walking the cutest dog I've ever walked in my life. I will post a picture when this is released. He picked up a huge stick like 20 minutes into the walk and wouldn't put it down for like another 10. He was just carrying it around with him. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
What kind of dog?
He was like a shepherd of some kind. He's a 7-month-old puppy.
Oh,
I know.
Hashtag blessed.
Yes.
You're blessed. The dog is blessed. I love that. Carly took on dog walking, by the way, which I think is really cool. So
thank you. I have a lot to explain. They know nothing, Nay, about what has happened. I am editing.
They know nothing.
Truly, you will learn today. I'm editing episode 4 right now. And I was like, I just accepted another job. And you were like, oh, congrats. And lol, like you're going to find out so much information today, y'all. So that was my weekend. How was your weekend?
Oh, yeah. My weekend was really chill. I didn't really do much though. Yesterday, I sat on the couch for the majority of the day. And then I really wanted boba, but then I didn't want to go by myself, even though I'm like, I don't care. I do a lot of things by myself, but I'm like, I really want myself. So I texted my friend who lives around really good boba places, and then we just went together. So
cute.
And then she has a dog and a cat, and then I met them yesterday. And it was
I love their dog.
Nice.
Every time you hang out with their friend and their dog, I'm like, oh my gosh, that dog and they are so cute together. Like, Luna? I know it's not even Nay's dog, yes. But Luna and you were like adorable. I want to see you together every day.
One day you will meet Luna and Julia. This was actually a different friend, and she had a different dog, like a bigger dog. But me and Luna are like this, crossing fingers. Yeah. She's an Aries, and she definitely, like, you could see it. She's so energetic. And she's a little puppy, so.
I was going to say, you have like puppy vibes yourself, Nay. Like, I think if you were an animal, you would be a puppy.
Good night. I see it. Oh my gosh. So that was my weekend. Good. And then, yes. So that's our weekends. Carly.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Success and hot mess. Take it away. Kick it off for us, sister.
You got it, girl. Okay. So my success is just generally like I've been enjoying my time with everyone that I've been around. Sometimes I get like people get on my nerves, or like I'm just I hate to use the word anal, but it's true. I'm anal. Okay. So like my buttons get pushed on certain things that like don't matter at all with people sometimes. And it hasn't been happening lately. I've just been like super happy with everyone.
Oh, good.
Like usually sometimes I go out to dinner with my grandma and I love her, but she's like the type of person that sends back a meal if something's not right, or like she ordered basically like a burrito bowl without the burrito at this Mexican restaurant, and they gave it to her served a different way that she was thinking in her brain. She didn't ask them to serve it like the way that she wanted it to be. And so she was like, like she was unhappy when they served it to her the way that they did. So just stuff like that annoys me. But this time it like
us on the other hand, we'll just eat it. We're like, whatever.
Exactly. If somebody serves me the wrong plate of food, I won't ask questions.
Same.
Unless it's something that I like won't eat, which is very rare. I will be like, thank you for this food that I didn't order, and just accept it and eat it, because that is better than sending it back in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page. We all have our buttons in reference to like what you just said, but like, yeah, I think, yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. So like even spending time with her was fun.
Oh, good.
And she went through her entire closet, and I got to pick some stuff to take back with me. So I went thrifting in a way, and that was also fun.
That's better than thrifting.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's free and it's from family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were my successes. I know. So good. And then my hot mess 2 weeks ago at this point, I realized that I wanted to quit the job that I accepted a couple of episodes ago. They just were really disorganized, and they were not training me well, and they expected me to do things that I didn't feel prepared to do. And I've never quit a job before in my life. So I was filled with like so much strife, I guess. Like I just like was so emotional for like the 2 days leading up to it and afterwards, crying all the time. Like I called my mom, and like I couldn't say words. I was just crying, but she like knew that I was doing the right thing. And I think like what helped with that was that everyone was telling me that I was doing the right thing, but I've never quit anything in my life. So it felt like a hot mess for me, because I knew they were relying on me, and I felt guilty that I was quitting so soon into starting. But in the end, it turned out to be a success in the way, just because like
there you go.
It's worked out well for me.
You did what was best for you, and like the way that you broke it down, not that you necessarily need an explanation in those types of situations or in general when you're making decisions for yourself, but I feel like your explanation makes a lot of sense, and ultimately it just wasn't the right fit for you. So I'm glad that you feel good about your decision, but sometimes making the wrong decision or making the right decision for yourself can feel bad, or you could just feel guilty and stuff. And I understand that it was like a new experience for you to do that. So yeah. But I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Guts. You're welcome.
It does. And I am proud of myself too for advocating for myself. I told my therapist that I think like me 2 years ago would have just sucked it up and pushed through. And so like I feel like I've grown a lot in the last 2 years in terms of like seeing what I need to be doing for myself and advocating for myself more.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, sister.
Thanks, girl.
And advocating for yourself is so important. I think for me, it's still like an area of growth for me. I'm really proud of you for doing that in this situation.
Thank you.
It's not an easy thing to do, especially as people who it's not comfortable for us to like ruffle feathers or like we don't want to like upset anyone, or I don't know. It's just a challenging thing to do. So good for you, sister.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nay. What's your success and hot mess this week?
Success is that I got Salt and Straw after therapy this week. I had therapy twice, so it's been a rough one. And then after the first session, I think it was on Tuesday, Carly shared with me that when she was living in LA, she would go on walks while she did her therapy session. So I was thinking about that day, and I was like, that's a great idea. So I was doing that in like this residential neighborhood that was close to Salt and Straw. And then I like rewarded myself after. I was just walking down, eating my ice cream cone. There's like some cute boys like sitting around the surrounding restaurants just looking. I was like, yeah, look, okay. Just cried my eyes out. Now I'm eating berries and birthday cake. What do you want?
Oh my gosh. No, I'm just kidding. Shove it in their face, Nay. You're taking care of yourself in so many ways in that one moment.
Oh my God. Thank you. Yes. I think they were just noticing, but in my head, I'm like, why are they staring? Okay, it's fine. Okay. And then hot mess was that it was a long week. It was like shit happened. And like, I was just trying to like essentially get through it. And like Carly was there for me. Everyone was there for me that knew what was going on. So I think what this week taught me, I guess, is like, it really grounded me. I don't know how else to explain it. This week, I was like really forced to be even more transparent about how I was doing and just being very clear about how I communicated what I needed and how I was really feeling. Cause like at work, especially, I'm usually just like, oh, I'm all right. Like I'll keep it pretty minimal. Cause like sometimes it's just not necessary to elaborate too much, at least for me, whatever. But like this week I really had to like, when people were asking me how I was doing, I was like, like shrugged shoulders, like I'm okay.
It's so interesting because we're so used to just like saying we're good. Like that's just the natural thing. And when people don't say good, it's like, oh, now I have to be more curious about what's going on. And like, and being vulnerable about that to your coworkers is also hard, but it's like important, especially in our field, because they and I both work in mental health in different spheres. And like people have to know how you're doing so that you can do the best work that you can do.
And that's facts. That is facts, sister. So yeah, that was my week. I will be okay. I will get through this. And I know that my friends and I guess support system, like they just want the best for me. So that's really reassuring, especially when like they really mean it. So
absolutely. You know, same for me. And I think all of our listeners feel the same way. If y'all want to leave some love for Nayoung in the comments,
that's so nice.
Feel free to do that. I know. It'll just light her a little heart up.
Oh,
I want to make her feel good. So if you also want to make her feel good, feel free to leave some love. We all love Nay and want her to be in a place where she feels good about what she's doing and good about life. Not that she doesn't, but like fully comforted and safe and like happy doing what she's doing.
I'm gonna scream. That's so nice. I want the same for you always.
Thanks, girl.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. Carly, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about self-care.
Self-care.
Self-care, babes.
Self-care, babes.
Well, Love Island. God, no, I'm not going to stop that now.
No, please don't. That's so funny.
I've been watching too much Love Island.
Damn. Now I want to know, who's your favorite? Okay, I don't even watch it, but like, who's your favorite person and why? That's all I'll ask.
What are you talking about, the US or the UK?
Are you watching both?
I usually watch UK because it feels less trashy, even though it's like just as trashy. At least they have like cute British accents and stuff like that.
That's literally how my friends have described their reasoning for watching the UK one. But
it's so good.
Who's your favorite on UK and why? And why is it like interesting to watch? I want to know.
There's a girl named Kaz. She is so bubbly and just like full of life.
Is she Thai?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anybody in current Love Island that I've seen who is Thai.
Oh, okay, because I watched an older season and there was a girl with the exact same name and she was Thai. But anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, we're on season 7, I think, of Love Island is the one that I'm referencing. I don't know what they call people of like African descent in the UK. But yeah, she's just so sweet and bubbly. Nobody's really like grabbed onto her yet. And I'm so ready for that because like she deserves it. And there's another girl, Sharon, who went home a couple of weeks ago and she was my favorite because she was just like real as fuck and like actually cared about the personalities of the people. Love Island is interesting because it's just fun to watch hot people like each other, I think, and like have feelings and express those feelings. And then for the drama of like, oh my gosh, you would never think that this person would like, sometimes they're in relationships or like they're like coupled up and then they bring new people in. And then people who you think would be like a really strong couple, like one of them likes this other person. They're like, oh, it's a test. It's a test to see like if they'll still like me, which is like, it's Love Island is so toxic. I don't know why I watch it.
It's not good for any Love Island or The Bachelor, any of those like dating reality.
Truly.
A Band-Aid they need Band-Aids for their brains after, I feel like. It's not good.
No,
it's not a good environment. Do we watch it? Yes. Is it real for those people? Yes. Like, you know, it just sucks ass.
I know.
But
I agree. I mean, same. Have we talked about The Bachelor and our feelings about that Katie Thurston? Like,
no, we haven't. We're talking about mental health, or not. Yeah. Or after the final rose. I know we were texting during it and you had like very strong feelings. or you were like angry, if you want to talk about it, we're all ears here. Me, the listeners. Yeah.
I'm just upset for Greg. I like Greg. Was it you that sent me? It might have been Amanda who sent me this thing on like attachment styles. Like a therapist was talking about attachment styles on Nick's podcast. Again,
it was me. It was the TikTok. I send Carly TikToks, but she can't even open them. I forget. But yes, it was me. I thought it was a good breakdown. Everything exactly how she explained everything.
Yeah.
Even up to the point of her saying, like, I forget her exact words, but she was just like, don't take what I'm saying exactly to heart because this is just a show. Again, like, we don't.
It's fully edited. We don't really see people for who they are. But like as displayed, Nay sent me this video where a therapist was on Nick Vile's podcast. Nick Vile is like part of Bachelor Nation or whatever. And she was saying that Greg, if you watched Katie Thurston's season of The Bachelorette, Greg is like exhibiting an anxious attachment style. And like, I can talk about attachment styles a little bit another day, but like there are four attachment styles typically. And
go off, queen.
Anxious is like the attachment style where you kind of feel like I have that attachment style right now. I think I haven't been in relationships in a while, but like where you just believe that people are going to leave like in one way or another. And so you need more reassurance to feel secure in that relationship. And so like Greg a lot throughout the season was asking for reassurance. And Katie kind of gave it to him sometimes, but the one time at the end that he really needed it, Katie wasn't able to provide it.
He was like naked.
Yeah, no, he was not literally naked, but like emotionally naked.
Yeah.
And she wasn't able, based on editing and whatever, it seemed like she wasn't able to provide that reassurance for him. So he felt too insecure to continue. And then in the finale, Katie just like bashed him, like emotionally was so mean to him that it was not a good look for her in general, but especially because what I see is like Greg asking for validation was valid. He's never been on a dating show before. He's never been on a dating show where you're all competing for the love and eventual engagement to one person. So like an engagement for him was like a one-time thing. So like if he wants to get engaged, he wants to feel fully secure in that relationship, and he didn't. And she didn't understand why, but was upset at him for it. And so, yeah, it was just upsetting to see her be so mean to him on national television.
She was like, oh, when you left, so did all my feelings for you. I was like, why was that necessary? I felt like it was mean. A lot of what she was saying, the comments she was saying towards him was mean, but also it was irresponsible based on a lot of like their vulnerable moments together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's irresponsible, even if I just personally, if I was in Katie's shoes, wouldn't have said some of the things that she said after the final rose towards him. Like that's someone that you were A, once in love with, and B, like he's like shared a lot of really personal things with you and the rest of America, like that he like lost his father and like grief and like
and fell in love. Like in some ways, like I mean, who the fuck knows if it's actually true or not, but like it did seem like he liked her a lot.
Definitely.
And I don't think that can be faked. Like even if he went to acting school or whatever, they brushed over, like I don't think that he was acting. I think that you can see that on TV if things are fake and they felt very real. Again, like they might have been produced or whatever. But yeah, it came from a place of anger, and like maybe that's where she is in her grief cycle.
That's what I assumed when I was watching it all. I'm like, she's clearly processing it still. So
absolutely.
Like I understand if you didn't want to hug him when she like came on stage and didn't want to touch him. Like I get that, but her making all these claims based off of like Twitter comments and social media claims from strangers, like, oh, like maybe this was for his acting career. I'm like, that's literally baseless, like based off of nothing. And like, yeah, coming from a place of anger, it's exactly what you said. I don't know.
Yeah. It seems like she has more feelings to work through, and it sucks that that's like how things ended. It just like I watched with my housemates every week, and we were all just like, it was left us on such a sour note. It made me like not want to watch ever again. I know I will, but I'm like, there's no way I'm watching Bachelor in Paradise. Like it just seems
left a bad taste.
So, yeah, exactly. Just so gross. Dating shows are so gross, but like I watch it mostly for the drama and like a little bit for the romance part, but like
I wish there was more romance. I'm like, Drama.
I know. I think so too.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's like so produced. Like there's really no way to find actual like connection, I think, at some level on dating shows. Like it's mostly just for publicity. And I feel like a little bit brainwashed liking that type of stuff. But that's kind of where my head's at right now with dating shows and Bachelor Nation and Love Island and all of that. Like I'm still gonna continue watching Love Island because like Ian Sterling in the UK version is very funny. He's like the host voice.
Oh.
This week on Love Island. Like
we know him.
Yes.
We know him.
He's very hot in real life too.
Damn, Zaddy.
It's true though. It's true. He was on Taskmasters for a season and I was like, ugh. He has a partner.
Boo. No, I'm just kidding. I hear you, sister.
But yeah, so that's how I'm feeling about dating shows in general. But like if you watch, totally do it. Enjoy your time. Enjoy watching some trash TV. I know we all like some sort of garbage brainwashing stuff anyway.
And I feel like a lot of people can relate to what you're saying too, you know, but still watch. It's like this guilty pleasure thing. But so yeah, it just sucks. But I don't know what to say. I don't know. After the final rose, I was like left speechless. So I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and your feelings around it, because my feelings towards Katie Thurston was pretty consistent up until that point. And then I was like, wait a second, girly. I think all fucks just went out the window. She's like, I'm pissed. I don't give a fuck. And I'm going to advocate for myself, even if that means hurting this other person. That's what I got. So I don't even know if some of that was necessarily advocating for yourself. I think she was operating on feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think when you do that, there are consequences oftentimes because you're not saying stuff that you truly, truly mean, if that makes sense. So.
And I know, like, based on this, like my therapy brain going back to like family of origin and stuff like that, like her family is full of very strong matriarchs who advocate for themselves.
Aunt Lindsay.
Yeah, no, legit.
That's not like, even advocating, but never mind.
No, exactly. Or like who are just the powerhouses. And like, so it makes sense that she's going to be the one to want to like win or have power in this situation. Like
Sam Zaddy.
Because Greg, like, by making a choice to not choose her at the end, did, I guess, I don't know, bring her down a level or like probably make her feel like she needed to take some power back in a way. And so that was like maybe her trying to do that. And like at the same time, I'm sure her family wanted her to say something to defend herself or like it, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for listening to our rant about dating shows.
I'm glad we talked about it.
Me too. We haven't gotten to debrief since a couple of episodes ago. So might as well do it on our podcast.
Truly. Okay, but I will say the Bachelor franchise just needs a little revamp. They need to hire some consultants to like really restructure the show, make it less fat phobic and sexist and racist. And they could do better. I think that there are valid criticisms for these types of shows, but also like it's, what do you call it? There's a different way to do things. It's like an opportunity to use like a to explore more creative options for how you pull out the show, because like I don't think that this is the only way to get your numbers and viewership and really continue like a really popular show. Like you don't have to like keep doing these like dumb sexist like dates. Truly. And like you don't have to like
oh my god, this season.
Yeah, and you don't have to like, as a producer, you don't have to like manipulate every single situation and like damage these people's mental health. And like, I don't know, there's like such a different way to do things that can still be entertaining, but more real and like more authentic and meaningful. So I don't know what the solutions are, but like, I just always know that there's an alternative. It doesn't have to be this way. And like, that's my 2 cents. But yeah, I agree
100%. I think just because traditionally this has been what they've done for the last who knows how many years The Bachelor has been around, like we have opportunities and windows for change. And like, you know, adding different hosts has been one of the more recent ones, but the structure, the choices for dates,
all the execs with their iron fist, they're like, the franchise. I'm like, look, we're not saying completely change everything, but like, I think little shifts can't hurt.
I want to see the content be different a little bit too. Like, I think my housemates and I talk every week when we were watching about like what we know about these people. And I truly feel like I know nothing about anyone after watching an entire season of 2-hour long episodes. I feel like I know nothing about Katie, nothing about most of the contestants on the show except Michael A.
Yeah.
And that's like about it. Because they only show us the footage where they're talking about The Bachelor or they're talking about liking each other. And like,
or being there for the wrong reasons.
Or the drama. And like, that's not the stuff I want to know about. The stuff I want to know about is like your life, who you enjoy having in it, what you enjoy doing.
Yeah, maybe they should focus more on that.
Like, why these people are compatible with each other instead of just watching them make out, watching the drama. Like, I know that they like each other. That's why they're staying on a dating show where she serial dates a bunch of people at the same time. Like,
that's smart. And I agree. Carly,
producers, get on this shit.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I actually do plan to watch Bachelor in Paradise just because my man, Aaron Clancy, is going to be on there.
I know.
Aaron, and then also Ivan, Brendan, and like Abigail, a couple of my faves are going to be on there. So I'm like, gotta tune in. I gotta tune in to see who's going to get my man, Aaron. I'll be pissed, but whatever.
Maybe that's why he wasn't in SD when you came to visit. He was too busy on Bachelor.
King.
Yes.
He's been back for a while, though. I keep up with his Instagram stories. He's been back for a while. He was in LA a couple days ago for like a premiere party. You can just tell he's like enjoying this so much. Like his Instagram grid posts will just be like, I don't know, selfies or like him at like random festivals and stuff. And he's like, come say hi. Like he's like really like soaking it in. I'm like, good for you, brother. I think he's so funny. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So self-care. Tell me a little bit about what like self-care means to you and like what you like to do consistently. And then maybe like what you like to do specifically. So like if you're feeling sad, what do you like to do? When you're looking to feel connected, what do you like to do?
Those are great questions. So self-care, I feel like it's really, what's the word? The words are used too much. Self-care is used too much. But generally to me, instead of like treat yourself vibes, like it is sometimes, but more self-care to me means doing what you can to sustain your health and happiness. So for me, when I'm like just on a general daily basis, it means like eating food when I'm hungry, exercising at times, or like going on a walk, trying to get to sleep at a decent time, or like allowing myself to sleep in a little bit more than what's scheduled, talking to people on a daily basis, like at least talking to one of my loved ones and just getting an idea of how they're doing and like checking in. What else? Dancing sometimes is fun.
Zaddy.
Yes. And sometimes that means like going shopping if I like want to spend money and that like feels good in the moment, or it could be something that I need. Like I've been buying records for fun and that's like not needed, but it's like something that feels good to me. I think sometimes like collaborating with people throughout the day, like I check in with my housemates in the morning to see what they're doing so that I can like see if I could spend time doing something with them.
So sweet.
Thank you. And then when I'm sad, I need like very different things. I think I need people that I can just cry to. Yeah. I'm a listener in my life. So I think one of the biggest self-care things for me is that I need people to listen to me because I do it so much for other people.
Totally.
So those are some of the things that I do typically for self-care, but there's so many more that I don't even think of. I think just like checking in mentally and physically with my body, like I sometimes overwork myself too much when I think I'm taking care of myself, and really it ends up not being self-care at the end of the day, that it ends up being like me overexerting myself. And so like my newest self-care lesson is that I need to do less. And that's where I'm at right now. Nate, tell me about self-care for you. Like, what does it mean? What do you typically do to take care of yourself?
You're such a nice person. That's what my friend said about you. And I'm repeating it. Yeah. It was like the other week. She's like, your friend Carly seems like... I'm like, she is. Ew, she is.
Thank you, friend.
Aggressively. Okay.
Well,
yeah. It's hard balance, like trying not to overdo it. So it's like, I understand that. Even just from a social perspective, like when you need to be around people versus alone time, sometimes you overdo it and sometimes you underdo it where you feel a little more isolated and you're like, I need to talk to humans. So it's a whole thing. But yeah, I really like the way that you broke it down and the health and happiness.
Thank you.
Definition, chef's kiss. But I what do I like to do? I think I've already talked about my walks on here. So I go for a walk like 5 or 6 times a week. And I think that is good for the weekdays specifically, not just because I think it's like a relaxing agent, but because it's a good way to spend my time after work. Because the alternative would be to sit on my phone on TikTok. And I love doing that too. But I think it's much better to just walk a couple miles so that I can go to sleep better at night. And then maybe catch up on some podcasts or call a friend or something. I don't know. And then what else? I think looking to find the balance between like seeing somebody, seeing a friend versus just like needing to be by myself. This weekend, I practice self-care by spending a lot of time by myself and not doing really anything. And then I think ultimately self-care is just about like agency. I don't know if that's corny or whatever, but it's like, it's really about like, oh, does this feel good for me? Am I able to like respond to this email right now? Or like, do I have the capacity to like talk on the phone for this long with this person right now? How am I doing? Like checking in with yourself. So self-care is like a series of habits and choices and stuff, but I think it's also just like a moment to moment basis. Like things can always change. I feel like I learned that from my therapist that like your feelings always change. So she's really helped me to like think about things too, as opposed to being like, I don't feel like it, or like just basing my opinions and decisions off of like vibes or something. It's like really about being more thinky about it. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically how I feel changes just like how everyone feels, I guess. So like yesterday, I didn't have any plans for the day. I just literally sat on my couch watching TikToks and just like doing random things like making coffee and whatever. But then I was like, oh, I feel like getting boba. So I like texted my friend who like lives close to really good boba places. And then we ended up getting boba. So just kind of like, yeah. So that's my long-winded answer.
I love that. Like self-care changes on a moment to moment basis. And it's kind of whatever you need, as long as you continue checking in with yourself and seeing where you are and trying to get that balance.
Facts, no printer. Facts, no printer. Okay.
That's hot.
That is very hot. Self-care is very hot. And we encourage everyone to do their own little things throughout the week.
Yes. So. And it varies depending on the setting and the situation too. Like I know Nay and I talk about apps sometimes and like how we have to modulate self-care so that it can help us sustain ourselves as like single women in this world.
Dating apps or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Wait, modulate? What do you mean by modulate?
Yeah, like change up our self-care routine. Like check in with yourself more when you're on apps and be like, am I just talking to people for fun? Am I like, is this helping me? Is this hurting me? Like, because sometimes it can be more hurtful.
Yeah,
to, like,
totally.
Date versus not, or like to make a profile and not receive feedback that you're wanting, or like feel self-conscious about your profile. I don't know. There's a lot of changes that come with getting back on dating apps.
Yes. And that's our segue to this conversation. Literally, yeah, a couple episodes ago, I was talking about how I'm not on dating apps. Carly and I weren't on dating apps. And then this weekend that changed because I don't think I'll be going out for a while, like out as in like to drink and stuff for a while. So I was like, well, old friend. So I made a Hinge the other day for a couple hours and then I deleted it. And then I made a Tinder. I'm like in disbelief of myself. Yeah, I was like, because one of the reasons I deleted it, Hinge, was because I woke up the next day and like all of my likes were from guys that I recognized, like when I had it before, and like they weren't guys that I was mutually attracted to. So I was like not in a good mood. I was like, I don't. They were literally like probably like 6 or 7 likes, and like the majority of them, I was like, I know you guys by name. I don't want this. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I made it a Tinder just to change things up. Like whatever. And it's like, am I satisfied with the interactions I've been having? No.
Dang.
So, am I still going to be on it for the time being? I think so. Not really expecting much. I'm not even expecting like a real date. I think it's really just to like put myself out there and maybe meet somebody. But sometimes it doesn't even lead up till that point, because for me, I either stop responding or I just let the person know that I'm not interested if like if our initial conversation on their end is like really hypersexualized. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know what Tinder is for.
Yeah.
But I think for me, that's literally it. Like, we all know what Tinder is used for. So can we just kind of like talk like normal people? This guy, his like 4th message to me yesterday was like, do you like having your ass eaten? I was like, I don't like being spoken to that way. I think, again, I'm not an idiot. I know what Tinder is for, but I think that people don't have like the tools and the knowledge to know. I think we don't know how to talk to each other. Like, I think specifically in dating contexts.
Yeah.
And like people say all sorts of things to people that they do not know, like complete strangers. You don't know them. You don't know anything about them. And you're just like, and then he was like, he also asked me like, do I like my foot massage? And I personally don't like feet. So I was just like, oh, not really. How about you? LOL. And then he was like, I do. And I also like giving them. And I was like, nice. LOL. And then that's when he said the ass. And then I didn't respond because I didn't know what to say. But like his message disappeared. Yeah. And then like I was looking through this guy's pictures and he looks like he was cute, but like not but he looks cute. But he looks like more like wholesome cute. Like I was attracted to him, but like more wholesome cute. Like he wasn't this like big macho guy being like, do you like your ass eaten?
More of my type of guy.
What?
More of my type of guy. Like you like the Jimmy Frat, like.
Yeah,
I like more of like boy next door type guys, like cute little like.
I think so. He was almost like a hybrid. Almost like a hybrid because he had like a gym selfie in there. I was like, interesting. And he works with animals, right? So I thought that was really interesting how he was talking to me like that, because for me, even though I don't know this guy, based on his profile and assumptions I was making, I was kind of like, dude, if I am right about how I think you kind of are, like, you don't have to talk like this.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like you because I am interested to talk to you a little bit. You don't have to be like, oh, do you like your ass eaten? Like, I don't like that. And I know you don't normally talk like that, probably, considering like just looking at his profile, you can tell he's not that kind of guy. So I'm like, why? You don't have to talk
it's
like
just
that.
So messed up. I'm so like, I just read this book the other day about feminism, like raising a feminist daughter, and about how like how differently we're socialized. Women would never be socialized to say anything sexually explicit to anybody. Like that would never come out of our mouths unless it was like a specific setting. Like that's not even just Tinder, but like unless we were like naked, probably those things would not come out of our mouths. Or like super drunk,
or like, I don't know.
And like men are socialized so differently. Like that's a normalized thing. Men
he doesn't even look like he'd say that. I'm like, dude, just talk to me how you normally are. But I agree with you.
Like say what you want, and I don't know, just like be real. Like you don't have to, like, you're not looking for a hookup. Do you say that explicitly?
No, and no, I didn't, and I haven't since I've made it. But
yeah, because I don't know how Tinder works. I don't have Tinder. I've used Bumble and Hinge. I know that Tinder is like the hookup app or whatever, but like people use all apps for all things. So I'm curious about like if it would change if you said more explicitly that you're not looking for a hookup. Definitely. Or if you are looking for a hookup, that's totally okay, and disregard what I'm saying. But
I don't know what I'm looking for, so I just left it blank. I just left my bio blank. I'm looking to because I have no expectations.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, I would be looking to go on actual dates with people, but it's just not gonna happen.
No.
I mean, based on the interactions on apps, people want to go on a walk or like, what is it, get coffee. I'm like, can we do something fun or like, I don't know. So I'm just like, but it's also not just how the interactions have been. I think it's just my attitude. I've been kind of discouraged.
Absolutely.
So I think I'm just like, oh, I'll just go on Tinder. But yeah, I agree. I think we're socialized so differently from men, and it shows in these kinds of interactions.
In terms of self-care, is there something that you can do like with this app situation to like make sure you're taking care of yourself in the process?
Probably deleting it, but
okay.
I'm like, I want male validation.
Yeah.
So we're on it for the time being. I will keep you and maybe the podcast updated if there are any real updates that happen. But like,
if y'all know some like cute, nice, fratty guys, please, send them our way. You can email
or boy next door
vibes or girl next door vibes. People next door, just cuties. If you know any hot people that would like to be set up with one of two nice women who host a podcast that you like to listen to, please send them our way.
Yes.
We're two single girls. I personally don't need anything right now, but if the right opportunity comes along, I'm open to it.
I love that attitude. Yeah. And for me, I'm just looking to get to know people. I'm personally not sure if I'm in the place to be in a relationship, even though that's something that I want. So I'm really just looking for experience and like to be like, hey, what do you like to do? Oh, I like, but yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay.
Like a date.
Carly.
Yes.
Okay. Please elaborate a little bit on like a little bit of your type, and then I'll elaborate a little bit on my type.
Lol,
it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just like,
so I don't know. My type varies. It's a lot based on personality at this point. And it varies depending on like gender. But a lot of the time it's like, I don't know, genuine people who care about other people is kind of like baseline what I like. I think people who ask for consent or are good communicators is a big deal to me and something that I look for in people. I think generally cuties, like in women, I typically like or am attracted to more like feminine presenting people, like people who essentially, I said this once in a Jubilee interview, people like women who are essentially like better versions of me are the women that I'm attracted to. Like they dress cuter. They just like are happy and sweet and have
better.
Interests.
Good night.
Just that's who I'm attracted to in general, is somebody that I feel like is a step above me in some way. That's like kind of the trend, or like somebody that I see potential with, like as a person that is growing into themselves. I think, yeah.
So
and then in terms of male presenting people, typically I like tall, lanky. If they have nice hair, I don't know, physical personality stuff. I think if they like to hold hands and cuddle.
Like wholesome boys.
Wholesome boys for a wholesome girl.
Facts. Literally facts.
But yeah, I am... The possibilities are open. I never really know who I'm going to end up being attracted to at the end of the day.
That's fair.
I'm pretty picky, but if you know anybody, send them my way. Nay, you want to elaborate?
Just a good person for Carly.
Yes.
Well, good people, I guess, for all of my friends, but specific to Carly, she's very wholesome and like, she's very specific with how she, because she's really good at communicating. So it's like, she's very, specifically, like, you know, those people like where you meet them and it's like good. You're like, good. Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. But yes, I love that.
Yay.
Okay, for me, I am attracted to women, but I don't have experience dating them. For now, it's just like dating men. Sexuality is not a choice. Okay.
It's
Okay.
true.
It's true. I like guys. I don't know if this exists, but I like guys who look like Aaron Clancy, but like are more complex and like, not to say he's not, I don't know him, but like
What
someone
does
who's
complex mean?
like someone who's like, what is it? Shows attributes or things about themselves that like you wouldn't expect to like go together. So someone who was like brat, like Sigma Chi alumni, but also like super sensitive and like did a mental health first aid training. You know?
I
That is
agree.
exactly what I want. But I also understand that like sometimes connection comes like not when you least expect it, but it's like out of the blue, like not pertaining to like standards that you had in your head or like originally imagined. Like I've definitely had crushes and feelings for people I've crossed paths with that don't fit that criteria.
Yeah.
Like guy friends or just people that I've met where I'm like, ooh, I'm interested in them. Like, so yeah, I think I just want someone who ultimately is really that I'm very physically attracted to and also very kind, and has very like straightforward values that I share with them. And then I love directness and I love honesty. I think when your relationship is like rooted in good principles, like there's really no way you can go wrong, even if it doesn't work out. So someone who just is like that, and then someone who's also very aware of like just themselves and their feelings and the people around them. And someone who has like good relationships with other people, I think is always like a good sign, just like good friendships and kind of has a life, good at work. I like it when people are good at different things, like, you know, do well at work and then you come home, you're a good partner, you have good friends, just kind of has like different things going for them. So
I agree with that. I want somebody who already has their lives settled in a lot of ways for you so that they can focus on like you and your relationship and like figuring out like how you two work together. Like somebody who's got all of the other spheres like kind of going already.
oh, I want that for you too. I want
Thanks,
us to just like when the time comes for us to like be in relationships with people, I guess I just want it to be with people that we feel like are worthwhile, simply put, and just like will help us grow and make us feel really connected. I want there to be a strong connection for both of us. So someone who just gets us. That would be nice. God.
That one takes time.
Okay,
but we'll
anyway.
See.
Yes, we will see. But I have high hopes for you, Carly.
You too, girl. I'm excited. Someday.
Yes.
In terms of self-care, there were a couple more things that I wanted to kind of expand more on. Do you have anything else that you wanted to say about like
I don't think so.
Dating self-care sphere, I guess.
Or dating self-care? Not at the moment.
Okay.
Go
Sounds
for
good.
it, sister.
I've talked a little bit already in our like self-care topics about awareness. And I think it's something that's grown for me over a period of time. And awareness is like a huge piece for me in understanding that balance that Nay was talking about earlier. Like the only way to really know if I'm experiencing that balance is to check in with myself. And when I don't, my brain and my body give me like kind of like phone notifications, but like it's like internal stuff, like internal notifications about if there's something wrong or not. And like, it's my job to be like, oh, I saw this notification and do something about it.
I love the phone notification analogy. So clever. But yeah.
Tanya kind of gave it to me a couple of months ago, but that was like more related to feelings as notifications. But like my brain and my body like give me signals of when something's working versus not.
Totally.
And when I don't listen to my brain, then my body steps in sometimes. And somaticization is like where mentally something's happening, but your body manifests it in physical ways. And so I tend to somaticize things when I'm not taking care of myself. Like a lot of the times when I need to speak up about something, I get a cold that makes me lose my voice. And then I'm like, oh, darn it, like I should have I should have said something earlier before I literally couldn't say anything. And so in terms of self-care, being aware of those brain notifications happening before it gets to a physical place is something that I'm working on, and something that I just think other people should be aware of in their own lives. Like if you
just gave people the words. Thank you.
Thanks, Nay. Yeah. I mean, like, I think if you ever get sick and you like don't know why, it's probably because of something mental that you need to check in on. So that's just what I'm saying is like awareness is not just like feelings awareness of like, am I happy right now? Because feelings come and go, like Nay was saying earlier. Like it's also physical checking in. It's also mental checking in of like, am I happy with all of the spheres in my life? Am I happy with the balance that I currently have and tweaking?
Dude, I just learned so much.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that's a big part of self-care for me that I think we don't talk about when we're like, oh, self-care. Like we're just like sitting on the couch is self-care in the same way that like buying stuff is self-care, like getting a pedicure is self-care, like feeding yourself is also self-care. Like just depending on like your awareness of your spheres and what's working versus not, like that's how you take care of yourself.
Definitely.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you so much. I loved that analogy. Shout out Tanya.
Yeah, truly.
Also, thank you for sharing.
Of course. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was kind of like how we think about self-care as like sometimes an expensive thing. And so I wanted to talk about some like free self-care things that everyone can do right now that could help them. And these are just ideas from like my experience and Nay's experience. But just in case you need like to spark some inspiration of like different ways to take care of yourself. And it varies depending on like how you're feeling. Like usually when you're more emotional, I say express yourself in some sort of way, but sometimes that's hard for people. So Nay, what are some like free self-care things that you do or that you think other people could do?
Free.
Yes.
Walks is one. And then I know that Headspace, I think they like, if you're an LA County resident, the Headspace app, I think they extended their like free trial thing. Yeah. Because I know in 2020, they were like, if you live in LA, then like it's free basically, but they just like recently extended it. So that's a free thing. And that's then, nice. Yeah, it is nice. I'm thinking about doing it again because I think it helped a lot for me. And then can't think of anything else that's free at the moment.
That's okay.
I mean, taking a nap, that's helpful.
Yes.
But in terms of what Carly was saying about expressing when you're like emotional, simply just connecting with somebody else and talking through how you're feeling could be helpful. But sometimes that might not be an option. So maybe just like doing other like self-soothing activities. I don't know, you can always journal or express how you feel like through art or I don't know, just something to like get it out. How about you?
No, I think those are all great. And I like made a mini list in my head and on the doc of some free things because I know I wanted to tackle it. And like you got a lot of the points already of like sleeping, taking naps, like taking care of yourself in that way. I liked the Headspace. That was really good too. Like I didn't even know that was a thing. Some free meditation. I think in the same vein, like listening to music or podcasts, like that make you feel good. It's always a nice one. Hint, hint, our podcast. Well,
AKA Hotties of the Poddy.
I wrote down playing with an animal. If like you have an animal at home or like if you have a friend that has an animal, you can always go visit them and just like be around them. Cooking or like eating food, feeding yourself sometimes can feel really good. Or like putting on clothes that you feel good in, like whether that's like wearing sweatpants and not wearing a bra or wearing like your bougiest outfit, like you dressing yourself in a way that makes you feel good will, I think, also help you in the long run.
It's the little things.
It really is. Choosing to just lay around, reading like a book. I like dancing in my kitchen or like getting alone time to play music on the ukulele or I just bought a keyboard and playing music on the keyboard too is really fun. I think one of my biggest self-care activities is speaking kindly to myself. I have a long history of not being nice to myself in my head. And so I think giving myself that self-compassion has been something that I've been working on that's been really beneficial to my self-care and feeling good about life. Is just
so proud of you.
Thank you. Just being nice and like truly believing that I'm worthy. It's really hard to do when you grow up not, or like at some point that's kind of like that becomes part of your thinking. And so like with practice, it's become so much easier and just feels way better.
Truly. So. Speaking kindly to yourself is huge. I know it's thrown around a lot, but it's so important. Yeah, I think it could be especially helpful if you are more used to like negative self-talk or you're very like critical of yourself. It's really important to understand. I think for me, it's helpful to understand the reasoning behind the importance of doing that too. So like, I think, I don't know, if you are more used to negative self-talk and I don't know, just being critical over like everything, I guess, about like how you talk or like whatever the case might be, like just understand that like, I don't know, it's important to kind of know yourself and like why, just like know why you do certain things. Like it's okay to like make mistakes and like, I don't know, make the wrong decision sometimes. You have to like give yourself like that room to like experience life imperfectly and like, I don't know. I think the most important thing is that when you do something or you make choices that are like hurting you or other people in some way, it's important to recognize that like there needs to be like a change. But like depending on the situation, it's usually like, first of all, not the end of the world. And I feel like for the most part, like the people around me generally have really good intentions. It's just that like it just is not reflective of like how we are all the time. And that's okay. And there are reasons for that. So you just got to be kind to yourself, but also like explain why that's important to yourself. If that helps you, helps me, but.
No, exactly. There's the way that I explain reasoning behind self-compassion sometimes is like, you like imagine yourself right now and imagine you're holding a lemon. This is from a TED talk a while ago, I think, but like you imagine you're holding a lemon and then imagine taking a bite of that lemon and you like already feel yourself salivate a little bit. And like that's how powerful our mind is. When we believe something is happening, we make it truth in a way. And so in our brains, we don't have to, but we have to try at least to be nice to ourselves because we're constructing a reality in our brain. And I want that reality to be positive and healthy, at least for myself. And I hope for a lot of our listeners too. So when you think negative thoughts, that you're constructing that a little bit and making that real life, and instead we can be kind to ourselves and like treat ourselves as humans because that's what we are. And so I think that's truly like the bit of self-care that I think is the most important besides like awareness and checking in.
True. Thank you so much for sharing. I think there's a lot of wisdom in being kind to yourself, and like life experiences and psychology will teach you that. I think it's not just like something that somebody decided to pull and be like, it's not just like a principle. I think it's like really important to understand that like if you really sit and think about things, like, I don't know. I think part of sometimes why I can be overcritical of myself is because I think that that is the expectation from me. And sometimes when the people around me verbalize they vocalize their opinions about other people's actions that I feel to be overly critical, it makes me scared. It makes me like pull away and like shut down, because it reminds me that like that is how I can be perceived too and how I am. But it's important to realize that people who are overly critical of others are oftentimes very hard on themselves. Like more times than not, it's a reflection of how they feel about themselves. And that's also something I have a lot of empathy for, but you have to understand that. So like, I don't know, coming from someone who has a lot of people pleasing tendencies, like I pick up on things like that and it makes me shut down. But then I have to remind myself like that also comes from somewhere, and you just have to be strong in yourself. Like if you make mistakes, learn how to be accountable without like shutting down and like being hard on yourself. Like, I don't know, and then improving, but like you don't have to be perfect. Like, and that's something that I'm learning too. No one is perfect at being imperfect either. You just gotta live life. You gotta live life. You gotta, I don't know. I don't want to expect perfection out of myself. I don't want to expect perfection out of other people. I think what I do expect is just real trust in my relationships, and just the fact that I really like to believe and live life in a way where it's like I want to believe that everyone is doing their best. And I'm not going to go into it, but basically, I don't know. It's just like, I think that sometimes it feels like the world expects perfection out of us, and it's just not possible. And I think it would be a lot better for everybody if we just understood that. And like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I'm really glad you brought this up. Yeah.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you for opening up about your own experience and kind of where you're at in terms of your expectations of yourself. And it's also important to
back at you, like, sister.
Thanks, girl. What you said about other people kind of like projecting their own insecurities or self-criticisms onto other people is also true. Like other people's opinions are not facts, it's perception. And so like,
and oftentimes our perceptions are fucked up. So yeah.
So not to say don't believe your friends when they give their opinions to you, but take them and then also consider other options as well.
Truly. Yeah, that's so important. Really think about, I'm a big proponent. I've become a really big proponent of like making your own decisions and making your own judgment. And I don't know, we can all benefit from therapy. It's truly the conclusion. Whoa. We all have our own shits.
Not a free self-care activity, but therapy is supported for sure on our podcast. It's hot as fuck.
It's hot as fuck. It is hot as fuck.
Speaking of hot things, Nate, do you want to talk about our hotties of the week?
Okay, it's on our Google Doc. My hottie of the week is Aaron Clancy. Super shallow of me. I fucking know. No. I don't care. I've responded to his Instagram story so many times at this point, just calling him hot. I went on his Instagram live the other day and I was just like, you're the king of Pacific Beach. Like, I feel like he saw that because like there weren't that many people on it. So it's like, good, you should know that. Whatever.
I love that.
So he's my hottie of the week. On a more real
why do you
note,
like him, Nay?
Because he's so sexy. Like, also, I think what drew me to him is that I'm obviously physically attracted to him, but I think it's his inner voice. Like, on Katie's season, I didn't like that he got so verbally caught up in some of the drama, but I can see where, like, his voice is coming from. Like, he's very true to how he feels, and, like, I guess it's kind of attractive that he's expressive, but more than that, it's really just that. Like, he's like, even if I didn't agree with him, he's like, yeah, I get bad vibes from this person, or like, da-da-da-da. Like, he's very specific, and like, he doesn't really care what like if other people agree or not. So kind of like that, but he's soaking it up right now. Like, he's living in his best, he's living his best bachelor fame life. He's like with his little smile, his big muscles. He's like going on Instagram live. He's doing like the Q&A sticker things.
Oh my gosh.
He's just having so much fun. I'm like, and then he has like a little blue check mark next to his name now. I'm like,
oh gosh.
Oh my God. Okay. What do you think of Aaron Clancy? Just like quick question. Like,
I like him. I think he's good vibes.
oh,
I mean, like,
interesting.
he's
I'm
funny.
glad.
He said bro so much during the mental, and I thought it was so funny. I think he's really entertaining. And I like that you like him. So it makes me like him more.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, thank you.
Of
Okay, how
course.
about you?
My hottie of the week is Maya Murillo.
Mhm.
I don't know if she still works for BuzzFeed, but she's worked for BuzzFeed for a long time. She's an actress and a singer, and she like kind of does it all in a sense. But
So cool.
her Instagram and TikTok stories, like I don't have a TikTok, but I see like whatever she posts to Instagram. And it's always like good vibes and relatable. She posts a
Mhm.
lot about being single or dating and like what that's like. She is willing to be vulnerable and like just jokes around a little bit too. She's kind of a comedian.
I love that.
And she's gorgeous, like all around. Another like thicker person that I like to follow. I feel weird like labeling people's bodies and things like that, but she's
I know what you mean,
round and
though.
bodacious like me. And so I like to fill my feed with more people like me looking gorgeous and hot and just like,
Owning that and being
mm-hmm,
cool and
mm-hmm,
awesome like you. So,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Her Instagram, what is it? Username is at Maya in the moment. And
We
we
got to plug
will.
her.
Yes, exactly. So go follow her, go follow Erin, look for Nayoung's comments because they probably will be there.
He took a picture with Mike Johnson and they posted it. I was like, I will die. But okay. But yes, follow Maya. She sounds so cool.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, Nay.
Of course. Thank you for
Of
sharing.
course. You ready to wrap up?
Oh, let's wrap it up.
Okay, girl. Subscribe to the potty if you want to be a hottie. Leave a five
Leave
star
a
review
5-star review if you want to be
if
cool.
you want to be cool.
If you want to be cool.
Yes. And you do. I believe it. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and probably all of the other social medias as well at
Yes.
Hotties with a Potty. And Nate, do you want to tell them about emailing us?
Yes, feel free to email us. I don't think that we've gotten any emails in the recent weeks, but feel free to email us literally. I mean, mainly if you want like advice on something, but if you just
Yes.
want to like, if you have like an idea of something that you want us to like talk about, or you just have like, you want to respond to like listening to one of our episodes, like literally anything, if you just want to chat. And then feel free to like DM us on Twitter or Instagram too.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, stay hot.
Yes.
Know
Remember to
your
be
worth.
hot. Know your worth. Love you
Know your
all.
worth. Love you. Bye bye.
Bye.